Buhari's people have been fighting back on social media that the register was credible, Sam Amadi. After the new government didn't like the list of people that the old government had for giving money to help the country, a person who studies politics in Nigeria said that the people who liked the old government are arguing on social media that the list was good. Recently, President Tinubu and some governors had a meeting about giving money to poor families. But they didn't like the list of families that the Buhari government made because they thought it wasn't accurate, so they decided not to use that list. Sam Amadi believes instead of giving something new, Tinubu should have found ways to make up for the things that were missing. When Sam Amadi talked about it, he said that people who supported Buhari on social media are fighting back and saying that the list is untrustworthy. Interesting. I think when it comes to giving out money, first of all, it's already wrong in all forms. That's how I see it, because I think it does nothing but enable the begging culture that already exists. And the government being a big enabler of that, the government seen as the hoarder of resources, it's not a good look, first of all. And with the whole palliative scheme, because a lot of the times we tend to adopt policies and implement it like we are in the same class or circumstance as first world countries, and that is totally not the case. You may see it as, the government, well, especially during COVID time, had their COVID palliative schemes for those that were out of work. Not that the money was given to them for free because they are unemployed, right? But because people were not going to work because of COVID. But they still had to feed. They still had to do a lot of things. That's where it comes in. So businesses receive support from government, not random families. Because in those countries, there already exists a system where by eligibility, so in our case, in the case of Nigeria, as in we're talking those in abject poverty, as in you have 5 children, more than 5 children in one household, the parent is unemployed, right? So by eligibility, yes, you have schemes in first world countries where there's probably a benefit system where there's housing given to these families, and because these families, these 12 million families, are apparently very, we're talking poor, not just 1 meal a day. They literally cannot afford anything, right? And so there already exists a system in place to take care of them regardless. In Nigeria, no system exists. But we also have to be fair to understand that in those countries, taxes are also very high to allow for the wealth and sustenance of these people. So that's another situation. So I'm highlighting that to make us realistic to the fact that you can't just say the government is giving out money. No. The government gave out huge chunks to businesses. These are businesses that contribute to the economy regardless and pay taxes regardless. And especially looking at the recovery after COVID, they had to give money for support so that workers can come back to work. Even till today, as much as all these schemes were in place, there are so many people who are affected by the COVID time and also were given palliative. A lot of people couldn't go back to work. So it's let's be realistic about circumstance and not compare and implement policies and actions like first world countries, because we are simply not that. And so this whole list of families to give it to then makes it very difficult, because if a government is giving the business money, the government doesn't directly need to know the families. The businesses pays their workers. That is the contact they have to those families, if those individuals have families and, have taken care of them. So there's so many things wrong. And so having to complain that the list is not fair, there's a list, who is in the list, you're secluding and, dividing unnecessarily, right? Because giving of this money highlights the begging culture. So now how do we talk about eligibility? Who can get this money? Because now you're saying the list is not fair, it's not fair, it's fair. Then you have individuals like, where's I'm part of a poor family too. Where's my money? So I just think that just giving free money with no at least plan or idea as to, because the poverty is not going to stop. The unemployment still exists, right? And so there's no long-term plan. That's when, if you don't plan and you just want to give out money just to curb the short-term effects, or at least it seems like they want to give money so Nigerians can shut up, honestly. If you do that, you don't take the problem away. So after you do that, then what happens? Do the people come back for more money? Did you budget for that? And they've put aside 500 billion naira. And I'm like, that is such a huge amount of money that, at some point, even subsidies were not even up to 500 billion naira. So what is that money going to be used for? Why can't it be used for something other than that can be more useful? Put what I think, and do not forget to like and subscribe.